So the Zoe is actually our oldest machine in the range. It's been around for a number of years now, but it's certainly not sat still in what it does. So it's still our entry-level machine. It's still what we call a single boiler machine, so it's got a heat exchanger that powers the water for the group heads, and it's classic. The more you heat that boiler, the hotter the group head gets and everything else. So you get a balance between how much steam pressure you can produce versus how much group head temperature you have. You can adjust it with some valves and bits and pieces, but generally this is what we'd call your entry-level boiler in a box, for want of a better term. Traditional espresso machine. No, so it's the odd one out. So all of our machines used to be called after Italian cities. Right. So we had the Torino, we had the Milan, we had the Verona, but the Zoe, for some reason, I'm not quite sure where the Zoe name comes from, but it is what it is. It is what it is. That said, for what this does as an entry-level machine compared to competitor set, it sits above. So the features and the functions that come with this machine compared to something like an S5 or an S9 from a La Spaziale world, or a Conti C100 or whatever it is called, the C1100, C10, whatever. This machine has far more features and benefits on it as a standard base model than any of those machines have available. So a couple of key things. Obviously, we have shot timers as standard on our machines, which the S5, I think the S9 doesn't either. So we've got a step up on that. We also have pre-infusion as standard on these machines. So there is pre-infusion, which you can turn on and turn off, depending on the requirements of the customer. We also have a full automatic cleaning cycle on these machines, so you can make sure the machines are cleaned properly and looked after and cared for in the longevity of their life cycle. So all things that, from an operational point of view, just give the customer the ability to really operate and use their machines well and look after them and care for them and improve the life cycle. Yep.
What's a full automatic cleaning cycle?
So basically, normally when you do a manual clean, you have to take your portafilters out, press go, press stop, press go, press stop. On the Zoe, you can press two buttons together and it will run the whole system. You can walk away, come back, and it's all done for you. So there's no need to actually stand there and turn it on, empty it out, turn it off. It will do it 15 times on its own with no interaction. So you know it's been cleaned properly. And obviously from a servicing point of view, that's a really useful thing to make sure people are caring for their machines. In addition, one of the biggest features of the Zoe compared to some of our competitors is every panel on this machine and every part of this machine is stainless steel. So all the panels, there's no plastic panels on the Zoe apart from the cut rail. Even the dump box underneath the drip tray is solid metal. So the life cycle and the lifespan, the sustainability of this machine from a material point of view, it's designed to last. It's not designed to have plastic panels that perhaps are going to taint, crack or warp over any period of time. So it's going to be a robust machine from that point of view as well. It's not going to suddenly demand, it needs a full reshelling in 3 years' time. All our machines, I should say, actually, when we build and test them, everything's tested based on an 8-year life cycle, which is generally well beyond what everyone else, anyone's ever really going to use a machine. And equally, when we test it, we do it with a lot of crappy water rather than good quality. So we try and recreate the best customer environment you generally find as well. So, cool. A couple of other key features to mention on the Zoe range. Without going into too many numbers, if you look at like a normal compact machine, generally a compact machine you'll find on the market has about a 5-litre boiler, be it Conti, be it the Spaziale, be it Cimbali. On our compact machines, we run a 7-litre boiler. So actually our compact machines have a lot more power and a lot more output than they do compared to our competitors' set. Equally on the Zoe, from a 2 group, generally you'd find a 7-litre on a standard 2 group. We've got a 10-litre on our 2 group. So from a capacity, consistency point of view, the Zoe is far more stable and consistent in its performance because it's got that larger water tank, larger volume, and more consistent steam and pressure throughout the machine.
How many litres do
10 litres in a 2 group versus generally others are about 7. But I can send you all that. Yeah, 5, and so most are 5 on the compacts, and we're 7, and then on the 2 group, most are 7, and we're 10, and then equally it steps up to, I'd say it's 13 on a 3 group. It's a random number.
So, and 7 litre on the compact.
7 litre on the compact, yeah.
So what is the benefit? What is the benefit of having a high?
Well, there's one. Let me just go into one other little detail. So another. That's right. Sorry. So one other detail that's really key to mention about all of our copper boilers and any of our machines which have a copper boiler, all of our copper boilers run on 2 mil thick copper. Generally, most of the industry is about 1 mil, 1.2 mil thick copper. So by using a 2 mil thick copper, what we do is we actually improve the lifespan of that boiler by potentially up to 3 times its workable use. And because we've got sheer larger volume of metal mass, the temperature stability is far, far greater than you would get on a thinner material. So if you've got a much thicker material, the stability and the temperature and consistency of that temperature as it holds is far, far better. So by combining larger boilers, thicker material, slightly lower energy consumption because you don't need as much energy to keep getting that boiler back up to temperature because it's more stable, the Zoe actually presents a far more stable machine from an entry-level point of view, and actually uses slightly less energy than most of the competitors. So, for example, our compact, this is only because I did it yesterday, compact pulls about 2.7 kilowatts. Most of the others are pushing that 2.9, 3 kilowatt sort of barrier that you could achieve on a standard socket. So there is an energy saving versus having the initial better boilers, better volume, and everything else. It takes a little bit longer to come up to temperature potentially in some environments, but generally once you get there, we're talking minutes, and then the energy use through the day is far, far less because you've got a much larger mass that you're just constantly ticking over rather than trying to bring a small amount of volume back up and down in temperature. So yeah, from an entry-level point of view, you'd be hard-pushed to find a machine that's got all of that features and benefits on it as standard. We do a D-spec one, but I won't go into that today, for really special occasions when people have got special requirements or particular price points to hit. But as a machine with shot timers, LED lights, and all the other functionality we just said about pre-infusion and cleaning, it's pretty much standalone in its right. One thing people miss a lot with the Zoe, which is a great opportunity if you've not done it, is standard, the steam warms aren't cool touch. But you can put cool touch on it for, I think from the factory, it's like 80 quid. So to do a Zoe with a cool touch steam wand is quite a nice little touch as a point of difference.
Can you add them in the UK?
Yeah, so they're really simple actually. The steam arms that go on here, the nut just comes off, and it's actually the steam arms off the Verona RS that go on. So they're nice steam arms. You could order a stock machine and then switch them out. It's cheaper to do it at factory because obviously you're not paying for these ones and then paying for the other ones. But yeah, we can get them in as from stock as well. You can also, and I've just had one arrive. It's coming up tomorrow, I think. There is an auto steam option on here as well. An auto steam option. And as of about 3 weeks ago, there is now also, I don't know if you guys use paper decaf pods at all. No, fine, all right, I'll ignore that point then. You can run paper pods on this as now with a little basket conversion. Actually our conversation about that restaurant chain, I don't know if they use decaf pods from that manufacturer. That might work. I don't know if they do. Could be wrong. They might even not use decaf.
They do, I think, every ground.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so there's options around different bits and pieces
Is that
on
just
that.
the basket?
So the basket changes, and you do change one of the gaskets in the top. But we've got an Italian brand that's just coming to the UK that we partner with in Italy, and they do pods as standard. They just ditch the grinder and just run with pods. So it's an interesting concept.
That group head has to be dedicated to decaf.
Yeah, once it's it has to be dedicated to pods. You could use regular coffee, but yeah, dedicated to pods once you get there. Yeah. So.
On the auto steam mixture, is that
Yes.
the old F18 SB tech, or is this the new one?
It's the F18 SB one, but it works better on there than it does on there. There's a reason I don't like that one, but this one works well on there. It works well on there. Yeah, cool. Comes in 3 different colours as standard. Full black, black white, and white red. Also, we do a lot of customization on the Zoe, which is really simple to do. Can't redo the chassis. Redoing the chassis is quite difficult, but these 2 side panels and the back panel, we can either vinyl wrap or we can paint them bespoke colours as well. All we need is a rail colour or an image, and then we can put either heat-proof vinyls or do a full paint job. Depends on the intricacy of of the requirement. Generally, logos are better printed and then wrapped. If it's a solid single colour, then we generally would paint it because it lasts a little bit longer. So. Regular height versions and tool height versions. There is a 1 group, a compact, a 2 group and a 3 group. There is also the opportunity with the tools to actually put an enhanced element in as well. So if you wanted slightly more volume and slightly more capacity on the tool versions, you can put an uprated element just for that larger volume, because potentially if you're doing tools, you might be looking at more sort of 16 ounce, 20 ounce cups potentially. So you can increase the element on there, but generally we keep it fairly standard. Tools are generally just for takeaway cups, yeah, and people, so getting a 12 ounce cup under there or an 16 ounce takeaway cup under there is a little bit tricky. We've got some customers that just sell tool, they don't even want to know about the regular height because it just gives them that flexibility. So.
Is the boiler size same?
Boiler size is exactly the same, just you can uprate the element for a slightly more power on the tool version if you wanted to.
Is that 32 amp?
It would be a 32 amp supply.
Tool?
So the regular you can get down to, the regular runs on 16 amp. I've been looking at this for Dan. The regular runs on a 16 amp. The tool can run on either a 16 amp or a 20 amp, but you'd need a 32 amp socket with a 20 amp breaker. So it all balances out. So, but yeah, I'm going to try and make electronics. I'm going to try and make electronics simplified in a bit. I'm going to do my best. So.
What's its max daily output?
So, always comes down to like your busiest hour is always how I always look at it. So, if you'd look at a general environment where you say an 8-hour day, someone does perhaps sort of 60% of their volume in 3 hours of that 8 hours.
Yeah.
I'd say a compact 75, 100. Standard, you'll be pushing 100, 150 on a 2 group. And then a 3 group, you could go 200 cups a day. And yeah, then the compact, and then about around that kind of room. And it's certainly with a compact machine, you want to be more consistent in your volumes throughout the day. Whereas with a 2 group standard or a 3 group, it can deal with those peaks a little bit better. It's just on the refresh rate and the quality of the steam. So.
What does that mean then in terms of the busiest hour?
So say you were doing 150, so say you're doing 100 cups a day, but you're busy in the morning for breakfast already. So say you were doing, of those 100 cups, doing 60 of those in 3 hours of an 8-hour period, so you're looking at 20, 25 cups an hour sort of thing at a busy time, then that's where you kind of want to top out. Certainly on a 13 amp regular plug-in machine, you don't want to be going much more than that, or you will start to see dips in performance.
Yeah.
So.
And what is it that goes first when the machine starts?
Normally the first thing you'll start to see is you'll either see steam pressure will drop quite considerably, or your shots will start to either speed up, generally speed up, or slow down, depending on what it's done. You'll see sort of some erratic behaviours in a few things. It's been with us for about 15 years. It's at a price point, it does a great job, it's consistent, it's very stable.
Do you think it will be phased out over time?
No, I can tell you there is a project already ongoing to look at how we can modernise a few pieces. So the main reason for that is the design and the way the chassis is manufactured was designed 15 years ago. So actually there's new manufacturing techniques where we can actually improve the cost of the build. So if anything, we might actually be able to even bring the Zoe down to be more competitive in a lower price point. It's a couple of months to years to work through that program, but that's our desire. Is we know there's a lot of BFPs and there's a lot of ECMs and other machines like that at the lower price point that we occasionally come up against. Certainly in sort of regional northern distributors where price is very driven. So we've got nothing in that region at the moment. So just differentiating the price point a bit more from the D8 is where we want to get it to. So this one, as it sits here, I would say, 150 cups. 150 cups would be a good model.
Yeah. And just running off high power make any
You can, if you upgrade the element, then yes, you get more capacity out of it. So you probably get 200 cups a day on the higher element. Yeah. So if coffee's kind of like, if you're a deli that serves coffee, or if you're a small restaurant that's got a coffee offering, you know, at the end of the service, or those kind of things, I'd say that's where it sits really, really well. It's not. It wouldn't say it wouldn't be a lead machine in a busy cafe. It would be sort of this coffee's part of your offering, as alongside other sides. So small pubs, that kind of thing. Perfect. Restaurants. Yeah. Cool.